In this video, I'm going to go through the time card process, including when you have multiple inspections and when you have overtime. So I'm on my compaction inspection right now. I'm gonna look at the top. I am published, inspection complete, so I'm able to click time card, which you may have to go over here to access. I click time card, and that takes me to my time card. You have one time card per job per day, no matter how many tasks you have on that job. So the start and end time is for the entire day. This time card is going to have overtime, so I'm going to put in 3:30, and you'll see that this has updated the total hours, or the calculated hours, to 8.5. Actually, let me say 4:30. So now I have 9.5 calculated hours. Because we have 9.5 calculated hours, the system will require a reason for overtime. I'm going to put demonstration purposes in here. The system will ask you to it will have no lunch checked by default, but it will have lunch checked by default, but you can say no lunch. If you say no lunch, it will require a no lunch reason. I'm going to say that I did take a lunch. Your daily time card signer, you can go to this menu here and potentially have options. See, I have 2 people in here. Note to signer, this is kind of like the description of work on the current time tickets. So whatever you did, maybe put grid lines or something like that, depending on what kind of project you're on. Internal note is something only you will see, you and the office. The client will not see that. You'll notice this time card date field is gray. That is because you cannot change the date of your time card. So if you miss the time card on the day of work, you need to request that from the office by sending the report ID and the date in an email and requesting a time card for it. Again, you can't change that date yourself. Make sure to note when you're putting in that, if you're editing these times, which should be your time on site, you should not just leave it as the default. Look at the calculated hours, and if it doesn't make sense, maybe you got your AM or your PM messed up, or you made some typo in these start and end times. But we want to make sure we get that right, and that calculated hours field is helpful to validate. So that's our whole day's time card. If we go to time details, you'll see this one from the compaction inspection. I have 0 hours on it right now, but that's not correct, so I'm going to go click this small rectangle with an orange pencil on it to open in line edit. I'm going to go into the hours field and say that was 4 hours, because this I'm going to have 2 tasks on this inspection. And now you'll want to click this save. Well, first you want to click out of the field so it can do its math, and then you want to click on the save icon, which is the floppy disk on the left. This one will cancel, so if you click that, you'll see the 4 that I typed in there went away. So you want to make sure you get the right button there. They are too close together, but we can't change it. So you may want to zoom in just to make sure you click the right one. So now I have 4 hours in there. That's it for my compaction time. Now I want to show you how you would then add a second time detail for another inspection. So I've already added the task, or the report for it, so I'm going to go to inspections in my navigation menu. Oh, let me save. So I go to inspections, and find my concrete inspection, which is this one from today. I also already published this one, so I can just click time card. And what I'm doing now is I'm opening that same time card, but I'm adding, you see this is the same time card, I'm adding down at the bottom a line for concrete. So now I will edit that line and put in my 4 hours. And save that line and I'll save the whole time card. Now you see I've got 4 and 4, but I have 9.5 total hours, calculated hours on the time card. So I need to add some overtime. The way that I do that is I go down, I pick the inspection for which I worked overtime. I'm going to say that it was the concrete. So, you know, a truck came at the end of the day and we had to stay for the remainder of the pour. So I select that on the left. I click this clone button right here, confirm. And now you see I have a second 2401 line down at the bottom, which has 0 hours. I'm going to edit that with the pencil button on the left, the smaller one. And this time I have 2 things to change. I'm going to change the hours to say, I'm going to say 1.5. It may be 2 depending on what your union minimums for overtime are. And then I'm going to select a different activity code. So instead of 2401, I'm going to select 2421 for overtime. And you see that says RT right now, but when I click save to update it, it now says OT. So I click save, and I have my full-time card. I've got 4 hours, 4 hours, 1.5 hours. If I scroll up to the top, you see I have 9.5 calculated hours and 9 total hours. If you needed to add travel time, the process is the same. You can clone either one of them, it doesn't matter. So I already have this one selected. I'm going to clone it. Click OK. Edit that new bottom one. And in the activity code drop-down, you see I have an option here for travel time. So I'll click that and say I drove 2 hours. And I will save. And that is a full time card, a full 11.5 hour day. So now that I'm all done with it, I can click finalize, and that will lock it. So now it's locked, and now depending on if I'm on a long-term job or I'm out there for a day or two, I can either submit the daily time card, which will submit just this one time card to the signer, or I can create the weekly time card, which I would only do at the end of the week after I have finalized a week's worth of time cards. But I will talk about that in a different video.